George Santos finally speaks. I will be sworn in. And there he is. I guess he's an acolyte of Donald Trump. Remember Donald Trump during the 2016 election? The lies and lies and lies and lies that he told and still won. George Santos, and he's from New York too. What a shame. George Santos, the Republican Congressman-elect from Long Island, caught in a web of fabrications and self-described resume embellishments, spoke for the first time since the New York Times investigation brought much of his purported candidate backstory into question. The Daily Beast first reported on Santos and his business record in April, which was way back, finding that his most recent employer was accused by federal prosecutors of being a Ponzi scheme. The 34-year-old called into a talk radio show for an interview with WABC to address the Times investigation. Well, the record is I don't know what my options are, Santos said when asked if he would sue the publication. The Long Island Republican said he was going to be quiet anyway for the past week because of the 6th anniversary of his mother's death, but vowed to take his seat and be sworn in on January 3rd when the new Congress will convene for the first time. I'm going to look through and see everything, and just like they nitpicked at me, now is going to be my time to nitpick at both journalists who made it their mission to slander me across this country and across the world. And let's see what happens at the end, Santos said. But the one thing is, I will be sworn in. I will take office. I will be able to be an effective member of the legislature. He spelled that incorrectly. It should be legislature, T-U-R-E, in the soon-to-be 118th Congress. He then went into a reworked version of his stump speech before one of the hosts asked if he gave his own money to his campaign. That is the money that I paid myself through my company, the Devolver Organization, Santos said. The host did not push back any further, and Santos thanked New Yorkers for their tremendous amount of support, really. Santos also gave a vague apology. If I disappoint anyone by resume embellishment, but did not elaborate beyond that. Also on Monday, the congressman-elect admitted to the New York Post that he hadn't been truthful about his work and education background. Yeah, imagine applying to be some guy and with skills and they need a certain degree and so forth, and you're not truthful, and you get the job. Wow! In most places you'd be fired, but not with the Congress. Nope. There's not much they can do to him. So he said hadn't been truthful about his work and education background, coupled to not having ever worked directly for Goldman Sachs or Citigroup or graduate from Baruch College as he had previously claimed. Still, Santos insisted, we do stupid things in life. I am not a criminal. I'm not a criminal. Well, the funny thing is, he said that when he was being interviewed uh, at Goldman Sachs, the person said to him, "You're very smart." And I thought about that because Goldman Sachs hires some of the smartest people. You know, you see those people who give reports about Wall Street and those different stocks and so forth. These people could pull up all kinds of stocks, right? Just like that. Some of them are the top, right off the top of their head and so forth. So these are the kind of people who work for Goldman Sachs. The same way these reporters do it and so forth. So these people know their stuff. So the fact is, somebody interviewing for Goldman Sachs is not going to say, you're really smart guy. No, they're not going to say that because that sounds more like condescending. That sounds more like, you're speaking to a minority candidate and you say, oh yeah, you know what? You sound like a smart person for a Hispanic or for a black person. You sound really smart. Well, that would be offensive and condescending. And basically, what he's saying really amounts to that, or tantamount to that he would say something like that. Also, research shows that a priest said that when his mother died, he came to the church and asked to help him to pay for the funeral, even though he said he came from a wealthy family, he has all his business and so forth. None of that was true. His parents came here from Brazil. They were working as dishwashers. Nothing wrong with being a dishwasher, if you're honest. Nothing shameful about it, being dishwashers. I used to work in a hotel in the front, but there were people there I would talk to. They were dishwashers. Nothing wrong with that. They made a living at the time. I don't know what it pays now. By the time I guess it paid. But that was a lie. Also, he said that 4 of his employees who worked for him, they died, something similar to that, in the shooting in Orlando. I think the Pulse nightclub shooting, where the guy killed like 50-something people. He went in there and shot all these people. He said his employee 4 were killed. That's shocking. People who listen to this guy will say, oh my goodness, there's so many bad things happening to this man, Also said his grandparents came from, I think, Ukraine. They moved on to Belgium. They were caught up in, I think, the Holocaust. They ended up in Brazil. The Jewish museum that keep track of names and so forth, of Jews who were caught up in the Holocaust. They can't find any evidence whatsoever of what he said to be truthful. Nothing remotely truthful. So this guy, he came up with all sorts of stuff, claiming to make him look like, wow, this guy has a solid stuff. He even said that, I believe he said he's gay or homosexual, something like that. It turns out that he was married to a woman, and recently he had divorced a woman. So even then, he was looking for he was looking for if I may use the word, to be accepted by the LGBTQ community by saying, yeah, I understand your stories, to say that, well, he's a homosexual Republican and he's a Hispanic or what have you and so forth. That sounds like nice news, for the Republican Party, because they've been seen only as a party of white people, white men mostly. And here you have a gay Hispanic person breaking in, businessman, has all the credence going for him. Also claiming he had a charity. Yeah, a charity. that get stuff from, they have that package. The IRS allows them to collect money. Nothing of that is truthful. It's all made up. It's all made up. I mean, one can go on and on and on. And instead of calling the radio show, he was supposed to go in front of reporters, not calling on a radio show. He's supposed to stand up there and be questioned, and the people, the show that he called into, they didn't seem to put the fire to his feet, so to speak, and ask him the right questions, because he seemed to get away with a lot of stuff that if he were in a news conference, reporters would never let him get away with making such an easy, quick exit. That would have never happened.